You'll hear all about the amazing story, how we came to where we are today. But our first speaker up, the man, the myth, the legend, Mayor Wood.
Thanks very much. What an exciting day. I got to tell you, in all of the things that the city of Mishawaka has going on this year, and you don't have to look very far to see a lot of massive projects, a lot of big projects, a lot of quality of life projects that will have a lot of impact. This project right here is my most favorite project this year, and you're going to hear about why. But before we get started, I want to take this opportunity to thank some people who make this and many other things happen around the city. I want to, I think we have Council Member Mike Belovich here from the 2nd District. Mike is back there. Any other elected officials here? I didn't see any. We have 2 of our park board members here who I've seen who do an outstanding job, just citizen volunteers giving of their own time to improve your hometown. And so without them, we couldn't get much done. So Carolyn Teeter's here. Dave Strawn is here. We owe you a lot of thanks. But, you know, this project is special. Just incredibly special. You know, who knew that Mishawaka had the gardening bug? We did a community garden just next to the food pantry a couple years ago, and that turned out to be such a great community asset. It provides produce for Mishawaka citizens most in need, but most importantly, it was the volunteer effort that has been ongoing ever since. And it kind of got everybody to thinking, wow, we have a real potential to do more here in Mishawaka. Then we had this little patch of ground. We put in a new underpass. We didn't know what to do with this other than mow it in perpetuity, but it's got a great history for gardening. It was the site of, at one point, close to the old North Side Feed, if you remember that. But it used to be Grandma Barker's garden. And so we got to thinking, well, you know what, maybe we can put this site to good use. And then all of a sudden, we had some others who stepped up and said, you know, wouldn't it be great if we had a greenhouse where we could grow a garden club for the high school, have more members and do more things. And so we started this project with kind of the kids stepping up, wanting us to do more and more, so that they have a lot of more opportunity than they previously had. And so that's the best part of this project, is all of the partnerships that went into this. And so I'm such a fan of this project that I come by nearly every day, and every time I came by, there was always another group working out here. This project wouldn't be built without, first of all, citizens volunteering their funding. We did crowdfunding, patronicity. We learned about it downstate a couple years ago, and it's a matching grant. And Phil's going to talk to you a little bit about that. Wouldn't happen without citizens stepping up to help us fund this project. Then the garden club came up and helped us design it and come up with some ideas for this. And it wouldn't be possible without our own landscape crew. And Jake Crawford is here. And where's Jake? Jake's right here. He's going to talk. He's going to talk about it. This is his passion. This is his baby, and it is in good hands. And I couldn't be more proud of Jake. Jake does an outstanding job in the city of Mishawaka. He gives this city just those little extra touches that make it feel like a great hometown. And so for that, I am grateful to you. Jake gets to work with the garden club, and Christian's over here. You're going to hear from him. This young man, I couldn't be more proud of. He's out here all the time. This is his passion too. I see him not only here, but I saw him at the football game last night. He was giving a speech the other night at the MEF. But these are the kind of young people that we need here in Mishawaka, and I'm glad that he's giving of himself to make his hometown a better place. This place wouldn't be built without the kids in the building trades program at Mishawaka High School. Is there any building trades kids here? Yeah, there we go. Thank you very much. I came out and helped them one day when we were out building. And then here not long ago I came over, and I'm going to call, let's see, Harrison Clark. Maybe you can come and say a few words for me, please. No, I'm just kidding. But I want the young adult program kids to come up here. Come on up here. I love these guys. I was out here a couple weeks ago, and these beds that you're sitting on, these kids helped build, and then they planted. And I get to see a lot of what they do here at Patel Center and throughout our community, and they bring me to tears just thinking about the great kids that they are. And I couldn't be more proud of them. So thank you for your help. And then the partnerships just keep coming. We've had others, community gardens, and many others who see what this could be, see that this could be the heart of our community, and they are stepping forward to help out in many ways and to contribute and to give time. And so this project's going to give back in many ways. It's going to plant, planting materials for our parks that our citizens will see and appreciate. It's going to allow us to do things like improve our streetscapes with flowers in the city. It's going to allow us to have free education classes for our citizens as part of our community center, which is right across the street. So this little patch of ground that was Grandma Barker's pride and joy is now the city and our citizens' pride and joy, and I couldn't be more proud of this. And so thank you to all of you to make this happen. Know that we will take very good care of this, and we will cherish it because it is in many ways the heart of our community. So thank you.
All right, I'm not going to take up too much time because we got some other speakers here, but I just want to talk about a few things. First of all, I'm a big believer in high fives, so I want you to look at the person next to you, give them a high five. Smile on somebody's face, guarantee it. Never met somebody frown when they got a high five. For the second time in a year, our citizens and partners came together to successfully complete another patronicity campaign. This time around, through the leadership of Jake Crawford and the Gardening Club, we were able to raise over $50,000. $50,000 in matching funds, raised by kids. Do you guys know what that means? There wasn't a single dollar of tax-paying dollars put into this. It was all privately funded by kids. That is awesome. Another round of applause for that. Another point I want to make is the idea of buy-in and change in the culture. I was once told that teenagers only want to play video games and use electronics. Let me tell you something. This project proves that theory wrong. This project was not only planned and designed by teenagers, but it was built by teenagers. Funds were raised by teenagers and will be programmed and staffed by teenagers. You want to talk about buy-in and change the culture? That's exactly what we're looking for here in the city of Mishawaka. Round of applause for those kids. I'm so proud of the next person I'm going to come up to speak. He has transformed this vacant piece of land into something that will change the lives of so many. He never forgot the main reason why this project was so important, and that is the students and the gardening club. He made sure all the students were involved in designing, building. They went out and spoke to potential donors, and as you can see today, they're here for the ribbon cutting. He understood that if it wasn't for the students bringing up the idea of what if we had a greenhouse from the gardening club, that we would never be standing here today. Jake Crawford, I'm so proud of you. You have put in so many hours into this amazing project. Everybody, Jake Crawford.
I gotta lower this a little bit taller than me, Phil. I'd like to thank all of you coming out today to celebrate this just colossal community achievement. This is just an incredible project, and it was made possible, like Phil said, through contributions. We had over 77 different patrons that contributed to the funding of this structure, which is incredible. But not only financial donations, but we had over a dozen groups that donated their time, they volunteered their expertise on different topics, donating resources and materials to bring this project to life. And it's really an amazing thing to see so many people in Mishawaka that come together to rally behind projects like this. And this all started back in 2016 when I started a landscaping and garden club at Mishawaka High School. For me, trying to staff my department can sometimes be difficult. Who wants to come pull weeds for 40 hours a week in the summer? It doesn't sound all that glamorous. So we decided to start a gardening club to get high school students, involved in the parks. And I had 2 young men that joined me that first year. Dominic Weilman, if you raise your hand, I know you're here, and Christian Hawkins. Both young men came into the space we were using at Mishawaka High School, and they were eager to learn about plants, interested in city government and parks. And it didn't end with just the club. They came to work for me, and they have been working for me ever since. They've become huge assets for the city and for my department, and it's been wonderful working with them. The following years, the program grew to 9 members. We realized very quickly that we were no longer going to be able to use the space at the high school. We're very fortunate to have had that wonderful relationship with the school system, but we simply had just outgrown the space. The maximum capacity of flats of flowers we could grow was 14, which really isn't that many when you think of the size of Mishawaka's 26 wonderful parks. And so after seeing the success of Phil Blasko's community fundraiser for the fitness court at Central Park, the students asked me, do you think we'd ever be able to have a greenhouse? Could we try to fund a greenhouse? And the answer was simple, of course. So they took charge with this project. They made a script, we created a video grant request, we sent it to Patronicity. They went out to every fundraiser pitch meeting with me, to the Mishawaka Education Foundation, the Ron Barker, Lions Club, Master Gardeners, and many others. And it was awesome to see these students so passionate about wanting to change the resources that they would have for their education. But it didn't stop there. Like Mayor Woods said, the building trade students came to help start us on this. They built a solid frame and foundation for us to build off of. Garden Club students, 6 of them, worked for me, and they helped build this structure with my landscape staff this summer. And it still didn't end there. The young adults came and put this garden in. They dug out the dirt. They put in these beds. They filled them with dirt. They put in the plants. They help us take care of the inside. They water. It's incredible to see so many students together that make this project so special. It's very humbling to work with so many wonderful individuals. I think it says a lot about Mishawaka as a city. There's so many people here to support this today, and it's just that community in Mishawaka that makes projects like this possible and so powerful. It's been wonderful to work with the young adults. It's been wonderful to work with the garden club students, and I just cannot wait to see how this will continue to grow and develop. We fortunately own all this land down this way, so I think this is just the beginning of our project here, and it's going to be wonderful to see it grow over the next years. I'd also like to give a very special thanks to my landscaping staff. So this year we had to maintain the cleanliness of the park's landscaping, help with special events, and also build this structure. And this was a prefabricated structure, and once we got it, we learned that the word prefabricated that the company used is a very loose term. Because almost every single piece of this had to be custom cut, except for just the framing pieces. So it took us a lot longer than we had anticipated. But through that whole process, the heat and the extreme weather and the difficulties of construction, my workers rallied together to help bring this to you. And so that's something I'm really proud of for all of them. People that work for me, raise your hand real quick. They did an amazing job with this. And I also want to give a very special thanks to Rose Austin, my coworker. I know she's here somewhere. Oh, she's in the back. This project was very challenging, both mentally and emotionally. I would not have been able to do this without her help. Her years of experience and expertise in building helped produce this just solid structure that is here. And I could not have done it without you, Rose. Thank you. Well, at this time, I'd like to introduce Christian Hawkins, the Garden Club president, the man, the legend, to come up and share a little bit about his experience with Garden Club over the years. He's a wonderful young man. He's hardworking, he's passionate, and he's just an all-around wonderful, wonderful guy. Welcome, Christian Hawkins.
Thanks, Jake. My name is Christian Hawkins, as you know. I'm the Garden Club president. And back in 2016, I was just a 15-year-old boy with no outlet for my creativity and stress. I would always feel like I made relatively no important impact on anything going on around me. And then one day, I happened to walk into the MHS greenhouse. And immediately I knew that this was the place for me. I was welcomed by a very humble and caring gardener, and he managed to have me getting my hands dirty within 5 minutes of talking to me. I remember planting 2 flats of flowers, coming back a few days later to already see all those seeds quickly starting to sprout. I slowly started to realize that I felt free from my stress, and I felt this sense of community involvement. And once I felt this experience, I wanted to share it with all of my friends that I could. Soon after, all those plants started to grow, and we had about 9 students in this shared science hall closet we called a greenhouse. We wanted more members involved and had a lot of students get turned down due to the lack of space. We had quite literally outgrown the greenhouse, no pun intended. So Jake came up with the idea to start fundraising for a new greenhouse, and we were all excited to start this. The fundraising process was not easy because our main source to get all this large amount of money was crowdfunding. The Mishawaka Education Foundation was very critical in this process, and it more than likely would not have been possible without them. This whole process has taken about 1.5 years, and there's been a lot that I've learned from it. The greenhouse will not be only exclusive to gardening club members, but it will also be available to the community. The greenhouse is so much more than just a greenhouse to me. To me, it is a symbol of community. It's a symbol of environment, and it's a symbol of hope. The greenhouse means a lot to me because of all the hard work everyone put in to make it happen. It also means a lot to me because it brings a smile to my face knowing that in the future, for many generations, this building will help a lot of people find out they secretly did not know that they had a green thumb. Thank you.
I think at this time I'd like to welcome up Becky Miller. She's on the board of directors for the Mishawaka Education Foundation. I think she's going to say just a couple of words on behalf of the foundation. Thank you, Becky.
Thank you. Jane Wright sends her regrets. She's the face of Mishawaka Education Foundation. She's busy at another event today. So the Mishawaka Education Foundation has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars with community pass-throughs for classroom grants, the digital art classroom at the high school, the weight room at the high school. But what makes this so special and such a great project for MEF, it encompasses not only just the students, but the city and the community, and we're really proud of that. Thank you.
I'd like to thank you again for all coming out today. Phil used to kept giving me a hard time about how long it was taking us to get this done, but really, we just planned this for this beautiful day. So that was the plan all along, Phil. At this time, I'd like to invite up all of the Garden Club students, past and present, all of the young adults that are here today, Mayor Wood, and Rose, would you come up with me to cut the ribbon?